You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hey everybody, some exciting news. We wanted to announce the winner of our Review Us bribe contest. Thank you so much, all of you, for leaving such wonderful reviews. It was fantastic. It was a great outcome, especially for the winner of the contest, and that is Mr. Joe Cummings. Joe wins a pair of Beats Fit Pro because that's what he chose to win. Exciting news for you, Joe. Congratulations, and again, thank you all so much.
Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Laura.
I'm Batman.
No! No, I was going to do that. Get out of here. Yeah, so you hear that? That's a bad quality audio recording on our part. Apologies for that. Please bear with us. We have identified the issue. We just couldn't re-record this episode because it was too awesome because, you know, Batman and all that. So please, again, bear with us, have patience, but everything will be back to normal for our next episodes. Thanks. That was Michael, not Batman. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm Spencer, and I'm going
What should you
to...
Bane?
You think the doctor is your ally? I was molded by it. You merely adopted the dark.
Where's the trigger?
Where's the trigger?
Oh, I'm Spencer.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Oh, and I'm Michael.
And in case you wanted to know, we're going to talk about a Batman fan theory. Not just any Batman. We're talking Batman, the animated series.
So basically all the quotes we just did have nothing to do.
Nothing
No,
to do with
absolutely nothing to do with it.
whatsoever, but I can almost guarantee none of those performances were even shaped by it, because I bet that none of those actors ever watched it.
They were not molded
Probably
by
not.
it.
They were not molded by it. I was.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I can remember coming home from school. My grandparents would always pick us up from school, and Batman the Animated Series was playing after school on Fox. Do you remember? Like, after school,
Yeah.
Fox was the channel to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
It had Power Rangers, Big Bad Beetleborgs, and Batman the Animated Series.
And the Superman animated series. and then Justice League
I don't
animated
remember
series.
those.
Yes. Oh,
So
I never
it's-
watched those.
Obviously,
the
Batman
Justice
started
League
it.
one is amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
It was cool when here. Okay, I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something?
I didn't even make it. I didn't find out until I was an adult that Batman the Animated Series continued to the point of Barbara being Batgirl.
Yeah, and they had a complete different
Didn't
even
look
know.
change.
Yep.
But then it came on WB, WB, and that's when they started. They had like a specific. This is the superhero afternoon block or something,
Cool.
and I would get so frustrated because they were supposed to alternate. Supposed to be Batman one day, and the Superman animated series the next day, and go back and forth. And some weeks they would be all Superman. I would get so mad, and it really tarnished my view of Superman for a
That's
long
why
time.
you aren't that big a fan of Superman.
Oh, I have other reasons.
But anyway, yes, I think it's safe to say that this is a very had a very big impact on all of us.
Oh,
To
yes.
the point to where I watch it still. I just got a board
own
game.
We own some boxes of the DVDs.
Yeah, I just got a board game about Batman the Animated Series, Gotham Under Siege. So,
Cool. Anyway, let's talk
Yeah.
about a fan theory.
I'm so ready.
All right. This is the real reason the Gotham PD can't control crime in the city.
Interesting.
From user deleted.
They got deleted
They got deleted
because
because they were too good.
the corruption and
Yeah,
and
they came
Gotham got
after
'em.
Okay, so from the intro to the classic '90s Batman series,
Which is the best intro any
It
show's
really
ever had.
is.
I love it.
It's so good.
We'll throw out some trivia in a minute. 3 police zeppelins search Gotham's streets with spotlights. Shifty figures lurk outside of a bank, which erupts in an explosion. Batman springs into action.
Da-da-da-da-da.
The police chase the dapper robbers up to a rooftop where they encounter the Batman. And his eyes narrow. Seconds later, the crooks are disarmed. Da-da-da-da-da. Beat to submission and trussed up for the cops. Pan up to the Gotham skyline where Batman keeps watch. Lightning. Do you know what is so dynamic about that whole opening sequence of the show?
Technically,
Yeah, technically speaking,
he doesn't.
it's
Put me
all
on the spot
drawn
here.
on black paper.
Oh, nice.
that cool?
That is really cool.
Pretty cool.
Thanks, Justin Partridge.
Thank you, Justin Partridge. Okay, so you know what doesn't make a lick of sense? Police zeppelins.
Yes. Yes.
Don't get me wrong, I love the visual, the 1932 World's Fair style of them. It immediately tells you that this is a place where we use zeppelins instead of helicopters. Except it isn't. In the first episode, we see Batman chasing a monster and colliding with the GCPD Zeppelin. Wasn't that Man-Bat
Yes.
in the first episode?
Yep. Oh, wait.
He's
was
not in the first episode.
I thought the first episode was Man-Bat. Oh, it was recorded and slated to be first, but then they changed the release order.
The
Yeah.
first episode's like Red Claw or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So we see him collide with the Zeppelin. The cops spot Batman and immediately call for choppers. Why would you need choppers? Because the Zeppelins are a complete waste of money. They're too slow to pursue anyone in a vehicle. They're so high that the tall Gotham skyline blocks their line of sight. They don't have the ability to do anything other than wave spotlights and call for help. Despite what I can most generously describe as their sharply limited utility, Gotham has invested in no less than 3 Zeppelins with crew, maintenance, repair, and upkeep, etc. By my math, that's between 2 and 8 squad cars of beat cops worth of budget and manpower for each Zeppelin. So, a part of why Gotham City needs the Batman is because the GCPD opted for a big, showy, meaningless display as opposed to boots on the ground. At least regarding the animated series, the mismanagement of police resources has given criminals every advantage and led directly to the lawlessness and chaos of the streets.
Makes sense.
That's the theory.
Real
Nice.
quick, just to pat myself on the back, the first episode aired on September 5th, 92, so 30 years ago. The Cat in the Claw Part 1. This, for some reason, is showing that Cat in the Claw Part 2 did not air until September 12th. I don't know exactly what happened, but episode
They
2...
changed the orders.
That's true. Episode 2, according to history, was On Leather Wings.
And that's why I think, because that one was supposed to be first,
Yeah.
and then Red Claw was supposed to be second and third.
Interesting.
All right, so do we want to give us some initial thoughts?
Yeah,
on this?
I do.
What do you think of them Zeppelins?
I-
As soon as I read Zeppelins,
Yeah.
you know what I was thinking of. My favorite Christmas story
Oh.
is The Christmas Story, and that's what Ralphie's little brother Randy gets for Christmas. Oh, a Zeppelin! Oh, that's mine! So
Yeah.
whenever I think of Zeppelins, that's what I think of.
So what I think is funny is there were people, and still are to an extent, but we're really wanting Zeppelins in the Batman, Matt Reeves one, and maybe an upcoming one. They thought it would be fun to see. It's funny. I like the theory. I think they play. I mean, they play such a major. They're the first thing you see in the title
Well,
sequence.
they look like
Yeah.
giant eyes
They do.
Yep.
looking down.
And I love it. I love the aesthetic, and it really does set a tone of what to expect in the show.
Yeah.
We've said it before. We've talked about like the timelessness of the series because you can't place the decade because it uses such a combination of styles. You've got tech, you've got 40s, 50s looking style cars, and costuming and that kind of thing. So that definitely fits with that as well. But you don't see them really any more than that. It's interesting, and based on what we've seen, how we've seen Gotham City PD portrayed in multiple different ways. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if they were dumb and spent money on things that they didn't need or were helpful. What about you, Michael? Do you have any initial thoughts?
Yeah, you made some of the points that I was going to make, but to add to that, I feel like it makes sense given the track record of the mayors of Gotham that the mayor would go to whoever the commissioner was at the time, if it was before Gordon or if Gordon was commissioner, be like, hey, I have this expansion to the budget for the GCPD, but I want you to get some Zeppelins.
And
Zeppelins
he's
are
like,
cool.
wait a second, didn't you hear about the Hindenburg?
the whoever's commissioner is like, that's a complete waste of money. We don't need these. We could use that money for so many other things. And the mayor's like, no, I'm telling you, we need to get zeppelins. And so, in my head, that's how those came about. But yeah, they are pretty useless. I mean,
and dangerous.
yeah. I mean,
They're full of hydrogen.
yeah.
Well, I can
And in the middle of the city,
Yeah.
you know, like they could explode and kill thousands.
Yes.
I can
Thousands.
see they don't really like lean into this, but they kind of hint at a little bit in their theory when they say GCPD opted for a big, showy, meaningless display. Like it could be a status, or like not a status, but like, look at us, we've got zeppelins.
Well,
what do you have, Metropolis?
Or
You know?
even just that of, hey, look at what we got, Metropolis. You got that one little man. We've got these 3 big things. But also look out, Gotham, we're always watching.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think they could stay in the air for days.
Yeah, it's kind of
at a
like
time.
the Big Brother aspect, you know.
Kind of like a surveillance thing
Yeah.
almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before drones, do you think, I would be interested to get any kind of insight, because when we start the show, Batman's been around, like it's not like an origin kind of thing. He's just kind of there. I'm just curious to see where in the timeline these zeppelins showed up. If it was an initial, we got to do something about crime.
Yeah.
Zeppelins show up, they don't do anything. Batman's like, fine, I hoped that these would finally do something, but if this, I have to do something because the zeppelins clearly aren't working.
I wonder if it could even be thought of, if we're going to think about like comic book Gotham. I mean, we're not, but we could kind of throw it in there, of the idea of the way the government treated Gotham for No Man's Land, of just like, oh, well, they're on their own.
Or even Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises.
If the government just, after the Hindenburg, went, oh crap, we've got all these zeppelins. What do we do with them?
Yep.
Hey, Gotham,
Yeah.
why don't
Love
you think of these as a gift of your government? And
Yeah. Gotham's like the neglected stepchild of the
Gotham's
DC
like,
universe.
oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. What was I going to say? I don't know. Oh, so back to my point that I wasn't done with. The other option is that Batman, it does exist before the Zeppelins come along, and they're like, what? There's this one guy, he's like a Batman, and he's taking care of our crime. We got to do better about this. What do we got?
We got to remind people that we're out here.
Yeah, like the mayor's like, what can we do? You there, you guy, pouring the coffee. Give me an idea. Zeppelin?
And I also think of it as like the Peter Griffin when he's looking around and somebody says, "What's your name?"
Oh, yeah.
And he's Peter Griffin. Yeah, Peter Griffin. What if it was the same thing with Zeppelin?
Yep.
The guy just looked over.
He was looking around and sees like different
paperweight.
things.
Yes.
Zeppelin.
Love it.
Or maybe the mayor or the GCPD are just big fans of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I'm down for that, I guess.
That's honestly the first thing I think of whenever I hear the word
I
Zeppelin.
mean, surely most people do.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a good one here. Why don't we go to the comments?
Yeah, let's do this.
And this name is like a mess, guys.
Yep.
Nemevzishfal said, I think the purpose of the Zeppelins is that they're quiet. You can't spy on people with a helicopter.
True.
Zeppelins are much more clandestine.
That's a great word.
I
Yeah.
love great use of the word clandestine. I have to agree with you, though. The real reason they're there is because they look cool.
Yeah.
Do they look cool?
In that animated sequence, they do.
Yeah, okay. There they do. After that, though,
I've never seen one, so
I've seen a blimp.
Every portrayal that I've seen of a Zeppelin, it looks pretty cool.
Look about
in my
Indiana
opinion.
Like
Jones.
Indiana Jones
Yeah.
and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it
Up.
looks cool.
Up.
Up.
Oh, yeah, the
In a way.
bad guy.
Mhm.
What? Nice. You said
No.
up.
Yeah.
I said up.
That's
He said
that's
in a
good.
way.
That's good.
No, that's a different Broadway musical.
About Superman.
Yeah. Okay. Next is T-Forge 13. That actually makes a good bit of sense. Batman Year One shows a miserably corrupt police force and buying Zeppelins to make it look like they're doing something.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Do they really buy Zeppelins in Batman Year One?
I don't think so. I don't
Maybe
remember.
they didn't complete their
I don't
sentence
think
there.
they completed their thought.
Okay. All right. The big yellow one is the sun. Says Gotham needs Batman because the police budget is misappropriated. Hilarious. And deleted. So maybe our OP
Maybe.
is responding to that. Or is the police budget misappropriated because of Batman? They have a super detective who works every beat in the city for free, doing the work of many regular officers, and is ineligible for a pension or other retirement funding since he isn't actually employed by the city. They're saving a lot of money. Maybe they bought those dirigibles with the extra savings.
Maybe.
Yeah, they like to add to that because Batman's pretty much taking care of everything. The cops are getting like a vacation. They're getting paid all the time. So why not
like,
have
"Oh,
this
they just
lazy
go float around."
thing? They can just float around all day and watch over the city. And they're technically
Watch what
still watching.
Batman's doing.
Yeah, they're still technically watching over the city.
Or what if, we're led to believe that it's for crime. What
Yeah.
if they're there because most of the police force doesn't like Batman, or at least some
They're
of them don't.
surveilling him.
Maybe they're looking for him.
It's possible.
Okay.
And that would be a good way to surveil him. Obviously, he would be wise to a helicopter flying around.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next commenter is crew. You are assuming that Zeppelins cost more to maintain than the alternative helicopters. I bet you get more bang for your buck in terms of the cost to keep those things flying with blimps. Zeppelins can probably stay afloat for days at a time. Certainly, they can maintain a surveillance presence over the city much longer than choppers, at the expense of not being able to maneuver quickly or intercept bad guys. Again, I would argue those things run on hydrogen. I don't know how much it costs, but for some reason, something tells me that's not very much more cost effective.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like, if you're going up in a helicopter 5 times a day and you have to fuel up every time versus you can leave a Zeppelin up in the air for 3 days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It just sounds like somebody is just planning poorly. If we're having to watch from the sky all the time, something's wrong here. Like, you should just have beat cops on the ground.
Yeah.
But they've learned in Gotham City that bad guys aren't always on the ground.
Okay.
That's true.
And our last commenter here is Mike Mars 1225. Zeppelins in the Batman universe first appeared in Tim Burton's Batman movie. Burton later stated that he understood how impractical the use of Zeppelins would be for a police force, and even pointed out that there has not once been a point in time in which police forces have ever used Zeppelins. He said that the only reason he even used them in the movie was because he thought they looked really cool and fit with the setting. Paul Dini and Bruce Timm used Zeppelins in the Batman animated series for the same reasons.
I don't remember it in Burton's movie.
Yeah, I don't either. I was sitting here trying to picture it.
Maybe they're thinking about the Joker balloon with the Joker has. It's a clown. It's got the laughing gas in it.
Possibly.
But Burton did not. There is no Zeppelin in any Batman movie.
So it sounds like Mike Mars was wrong.
Yeah, here's an article. Why DC fans are demanding DC include Zeppelins in the Batman 2. This was published in July. But yeah, I mean, there's a 99% chance that there is not a Zeppelin in Tim Burton's Batman movie, unless it's some kind of deleted scene or something. And especially when this person clearly is thinking of some kind of quote from an interview with Burton. So I don't know.
I looked up, is there a Zeppelin in Batman? And it pulled up Batman Wiki that there's a villain called Colonel Blimp.
Yes. I love it.
Oh, there's a Zeppelin in Arkham Knight, isn't it?
Yes.
Airship.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called an airship.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, there's not one in Burton Batman.
So Mike Mars was debunked.
However, their point could still stand that it just looks cool.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Well, interesting. So basically the TLDR is the Gotham PD blew their budget on Zeppelins, and that's why they have such a problem with crime.
Sounds good to me. And you know what else it sounds like? Like we're ready to rate this theory. How about we take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll do just that.
Just what?
Rate this theory.
Right now? Shouldn't we take a break first?
That's not funny at all.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back, Michael. Let's get right to the rating scale before Spencer has a chance to say something dumb.
Something dumb. Too late.
The highest rating that we have is genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
Okay, let me hear what you think.
This is what.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is an interesting one. I have to judge it for its merits as a theory and not based on this necessarily the source material.
Yeah.
I think this is unlikely. I enjoy it. I think it's fun to talk about, but that's not the reason. And if we're only aware of 3 zeppelins at this point, how much could it really cost? Especially in the context of all of the rest of the millions of dollars the police force would get in their budget.
Yeah.
That's not the problem. We know what the real problem is. It's police corruption and a really terrible crime-filled city. So unlikely.
Yeah, the only reason this doesn't get preposterous is that I don't really feel dumber having listened to it because it was amusing. But it definitely gets an unlikely because, I mean, that, like you said, Spencer, it's clearly the corruption in the police force that is the reason why crime is thriving.
Well, and that's typical for Batman, the Batman mythos, and if we are to really be specific to this particular iteration of Batman, to be fair, we don't get a whole lot of instances of police corruption.
Yeah.
Especially at the time.
Yeah.
Now that's on the radar of everybody, it was huge.
And there's a whole book now devoted to the GCPD.
Yeah.
It's only about their stories.
So I mean, you see Harvey Bullock do some shady things and that kind of thing. So that definitely plays into it. For sure.
Yeah, but I also like the point that one of the commenters made that the Zeppelins aren't necessarily completely useless. They could be used for surveillance in a clandestine way.
I mean, it could serve the same purpose as the bat signal.
Yeah,
People see those up in the sky, and it's a warning. So
yeah, so I'm going with unlikely.
And I will also give this an unlikely. I agree. It didn't make me feel dumber. I enjoyed getting to talk about this. And I actually enjoy my theory that I spun off of it, that it was the U.S. government pawned them off on Gotham.
I love it.
That's great.
As an expenditure that they felt guilty for and they needed to get rid of quick. And they couldn't sell them to a foreign country. So they gave them to Gotham.
So we have homework. You two, after this recording session, you have a theory to write, and you have a theory to write.
It's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember what my theory was.
I don't either.
Was it yours about Harry Potter? No, it was about Frozen, the time loop.
Oh, that's right.
I still don't remember.
I mean,
but
it's
that's
only
fine.
been a week.
I know.
Not really. But it hasn't been a week, but it is time to bring this episode to a close. However, before we do, I know you don't believe this, but I did find something fascinating the other day
No way.
on Reddit. I did.
Oh.
They're few and far between.
Yeah.
So when I do come across them, I have to share them, whether you want me to or not. Now, many times I bring up like hidden details that we don't notice in movies until years after they've premiered. However, one hyper-intelligent fan was actually able to decipher this enigma from Shazam! Fury of the Gods simply by watching the trailer. Reddit user Pale Guy revealed that in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the Shazam family had to protect the world by themselves because the Justice League aren't available. This is because Warner Brothers aren't even sure who's in the Justice League anymore.
It's so true.
It's very true.
Yep.
And sad at the same time.
Aw. Maybe not too sad.
Well, yeah, there's a sadness to it.
It's sad for DC fans that the DC universe is in such a state.
I just see it as an opportunity, a golden opportunity. Let's wipe the slate clean and leave poop where it belongs.
Build back better.
So I'm not calling people poop, but opinion of an interpretation, a vision of certain things belongs poop on the ground.
Okay, belongs poop on the ground. That's a great place to leave this off.
Clearly, I'm the
Yes.
one that is in the position to be criticizing people.
This has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Spencer. Join us for Human Values Week next week. We'll have special guest Aaron Corney from the podcast Human Values as a host/fan theory analyzer for all 3 episodes. Tired of our shenanigans and ready to hear new perspectives on fan theories? Subscribe to Fan Theory Queries so you don't miss out on our discussions of fascinating fan theories about a murderous Jan Levinson, Wolverine's cigar habit, and everyone's favorite airheaded hunk turned soldier, Johnny Bravo/Duke Nukem. Fan Theory Queries is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like All Creatures, When Things Go Wrong, and Who Arted?